Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tessie and today we'll be making this lovely bubu dress with an inner belt. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. So now the first thing I'll be doing is working on the back part of this dress. And you need to note that I'm just using 3 yards. So you can use 3 yards or 3.5. This is my starting point for the back. And to know the amount of fabric you need to fold, you chalk your shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder is 15 inches divided by 2 will give me 7.5. So now I'll chalk 7.5 here. As you can see, this is 7.5, right? So now you determine how long you want your sleeve to be. So this part is how long you want the sleeve to be. For me, I want my sleeve to be 15 inches long. So this is the 15 inches here, but I added extra 1 inches for sewing allowance. So I have it there. So for my back, I'm going to be using 3.5 inches and I'll be using 1.5 down here. So I came in by 3.5 and I came down by 1.5. So I'll just curve my neckline for the back. Now this is what I have. So as you can see, I have my neckline for the back. Now I will be coming down by 1 inches for my shoulder slope. So from this point, I'll just chalk 1 inches. Now I'm just going to try and connect this point straight down to the 1 inches line. So just go ahead now to connect. So now after doing that, what I'll be doing now is I will come down by 9 inches for my armhole. If your armhole usually is 8 inches, you can use 9 inches. If your armhole is 9 inches, you can use 10 inches. So now the armhole that I'm working with is 9 inches. So I'm just going to, from this shoulder slope, I'll chalk my armhole line 9 inches, which is here, right? And now I'll come in here by 2 inches because I'm going to be folding for allowance. So just come in by 2 inches. So from this point, I'm just going to chalk 2 inches. I'll come in by 2 inches and I'm just going to connect it this way. So now what I'll be doing next is I'll be chalking my knee line. So from this point, from the starting point, I'm going to take my knee measurement. So my knee line is 42 inches. So I'm going to chalk it and I'll connect the line straight down. After connecting my line straight down, this is what I have. So now we'll be inserting our hip measurement on this knee line. So now my hip is 44 divided by 4 will give me 11. So I'm going to chalk 11 inches on this point. So what I'll do next is add 2 inches for ease. And I'll also add extra 2 inches for sewing allowance, which is total of 4 inches. So from that 11 inches point, I'm going to add extra 4 inches. So now I have total of 14 inches on the knee line. So what I'll be doing now is connecting. So I'm just going to connect from that point straight down because my client wanted it straight. But if you want the cow effect, what you need to do is while curving, don't make it straight, curve it a bit, give it a curve till you get to the knee line, and from the knee line just go straight down to the gown length. Now I'll go ahead now to connect. So from this point, I'm just going to connect it straight down to this. And now I'm going to shift it up, and from this point I'm just going to connect it straight down here. So this is what I have for the back. So we are done with the back pattern. I'll just go ahead to cut it out. As we are done with the back pattern, as you can see, I left some space for sewing allowance on the shoulder area. So now we are done with this back. I'll go ahead to cut out the front pattern. So guys, for the front pattern, I folded my fabric into 2 and I chalked out 2 inches straight down. So the reason for these 2 inches is because there is a slit in the center front. So you need this center front line. You need like 2 inches or 1.5 inches. So now I'll place the back pattern on the front. Now go ahead to cut out my pattern. I won't be cutting the neckline for the front yet. I'm just going to cut out the. So guys, this is what I have. As you can see, after cutting, this is what it looks like. So now I'll be taking the back off the front. So for my front neckline, I'll be using 3.5, and I'll come down by 3.5. So from this point, I'll just chalk 3.5, and I'll also come down by 3.5. So you can choose to come down by 4, you can choose to come down by 3, depending on your preference. So now I'm just going to connect this point. I'm going to connect it all the way to this point here. So guys, I'll just go ahead now to cut out my neckline. So now, after doing that, I'm going to open up this line. So guys, this is what I have. As you can see, this is the front. I have 2 pieces for the front, and I just have 1 single piece for the back. And now I'll be cutting my facing. If you don't want to use a facing for this, you can use a bias to just turn it. But I'll be cutting a facing for the front and also for the back. So guys, for the back facing, I'm just going to fold my fabric into 2, and I'm just going to place the back on it this way. So now I'm just going to cut out and stop somewhere around like 2 inches, or let's say 2.5 here. So now I'm just going to cut out my neckline. So now I'll take this off, and for the facing, I'm just going to curve it. So I'm just going to curve just like this. Go ahead to curve. Then I'll stop somewhere here. I don't want it too big. So this is what I have for my back facing. I'm just going to open it up, place the front part on the front, and I'm just going to stitch 1/2 inch and turn it open. So now for the facing for the front, I'm just going to place my fabric on it this way, and I'll also chalk and stop somewhere around 2.5 inches. So now I'll go ahead to cut it out. I'm just going to open it up. So I'll just open it up at this point. So this is what I have, as you can see. So now the facing is just going to be on it this way. So I'm going to stitch 1/2 inch, and I'll turn it. I'll do the same for this part. I'm going to place this on it, and I'm going to stitch 1/2 inch. My Emmy gum to just iron this part down, and before doing that, I weaved this facing area, and I also weaved the center front area as well. I also did the same thing for the back. So guys, after doing that, I just placed the front on each other just like this. So for this front area, you know there's an opening on this neck area, and also an opening at the down part of the gown. So what I'll do now is chalk where I want my slit to stop at the front part. That's on the neckline. You chalk where you want your slit to stop. So I'm chalking 5 inches. So I have 5 inches there. So what I'll be doing next is I'll place my tape on the shoulder area. I'll chalk where I want the down part slit to start from. So I have 37 inches here. So what I mean is, from this point I came down at, I'm just going to stitch, double stitch from this point, then you sew straight down to this point, then you double stitch and stop here, because this place will be open. So that's what you do. So I'm going to stitch now from this point. I will be stitching from this point to this point. So guys, after stitching, this is what I have. I stitch from this point to this point. I'm just going to open it to show you guys what it looks like. And I've gone ahead to iron as well. So this is what it looks like. So guys, if you open it up, this is what it looks like. As you can see, I have my opening here and I also have my opening here. So guys, what I'll be doing now is I'm going to be using my Emmy gum on this part. Make sure to weave this part. If you don't have a weaving machine, you can just use your bias, or you just fold it into two and stitch before using the Emmy gum. Anyone that works for you. So now you open it up this way, you place it just like this, and you iron all the way down to the length of the gown. You do the same thing for this part. So guys, after using my Emmy gum, this is what I have, as you can see. So what I'll be doing next is joining, but before joining, I'm going to be attaching my belt to this. So you know it's an inner belt, so the belt will be at the back side, that's this part, not on the front. So it's an inner belt, so I'll be attaching my belt to this. So for my belt, this is what I have. I have two pieces for the belt. What I'll do now is just fold it and turn it out. So I'm just going to fold it and turn it out. So after turning my belt, this is what it looks like. As you can see, I've ironed, and now I'll be placing the belt on my gown before joining the front and the back piece together. So what I'll do now is I'll chalk from my shoulder to my waistline. So on this point, I'm just going to chalk from my shoulder to my waist. From the shoulder to my waist is 16 inches. I have it here. I'm also going to do the same thing on this side. I'll chalk from the shoulder to the waist. Now, for you not to get confused, I'm just going to connect the lines. So now, this is my waistline, right? To know where to attach my belt to is your waist measurement divided by 4. My waist is 30. Divided by 4 will give me 15. Now you divide that 15 inches into two places. So now 15 divided by 2 will give me 7.5. So from this line, I'm going to chalk my 7.5 here. I have my 7.5 here. And on this line as well, I'm going to chalk 7.5. I have my 7.5 here. After chalking that, I'm just going to place my belt. So I'll place my belt here and I'm going to be stitching here. I'll also place this belt here and I'm going to be stitching. So guys, after stitching my belt on my fabric, this is what I have, as you can see. So we are good to go with the front pattern. What I'll be doing now is joining the front and the back together. So guys, what I will do next is just shape my gown. So I'll go ahead now to shape my gown. After shaping my gown, I'm going to be shaping it in by half an inch straight down. I'll do the same thing for this part. After doing that, I'm going to use my Emmy gum to just iron this sleeve area, and I'm also going to iron this sleeve area. So guys, after doing all of that, you will have something like this. I wasn't able to wear the blue dress because it was for a client. So this is what mine looks like. Hope this tutorial was helpful. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye.